Hey guys, welcome once again to Connaught Place in central Delhi. Of course, you may recall this is N block from our last video. In this one, we'll continue to explore some of Connaught Place and the areas diametrically outside, and you guys should join me. So it's a beautiful day today. Beautiful windy day. And I just survived making a video while crossing the road as well. Crossing the outer circle. And by the way, that lady behind, she was curious why I'm taking a picture of the subway. When I say subway, I mean the underground subway we use to cross the road. But yeah, it's a beautiful day today. We still have a little bit of the Delhi winter left. Today's 28th of January. But look at the trees. The sun is out and the trees are looking beautiful. So from the outer circle, I've now turned onto this road, which is called the Sansad Marg, or the Parliament Street. If we keep walking on this road, we'll actually reach the Parliament. That's why it's called the Parliament Street or Sansad Marg. So maybe we should talk about the timelines a little bit. So this, of course, is New Delhi. That's where we are walking, which means this is the city within Delhi that was built by the British. I'm sure lots of these trees were planted by the British as well. And New Delhi was built almost 100 years ago in 1920s and 30s. That was when the Sansad or the Parliament was built, and that was when this road or the Parliament Street was built as well. Of course, some of the things, such as that building, the DLF building, are much newer. I think that building is like 20 years old or maybe 30 years old. That, of course, is more than 300 years old. So, as you noticed, Jantar Mantar is on the Sansad Marg. There we go, that's on my left. And on the other side, we see that newer, interesting looking building. That's the New Delhi Municipal Corporation building. I think that's like 30 years old or something like that. But Jantar Mantar, which unfortunately is closed right now, is much older. It's 300 years old. And this was built by Raja Jai Singh of Rajasthan, and it consists of lots of these astronomical instruments. So as I said, Sansad Bhavan is, if we keep going straight, but yeah, Jantar Mantar consists of these astronomical instruments which help you track the stars and the sun, the moon. So it's built as an observatory, and yeah, it's really accurate, or at least it was supposed to be really accurate, and it's more than 300 years old. And as you see, it's this wonderful breezy day that's making all of this look even more beautiful. from this very pretty intersection, the first intersection on the Sansad Marg, we'll take a left turn. Of course, don't miss the trees and the sunny day. So the left turn takes us to Tolstoy Marg, and Tolstoy Marg is basically just running behind Jantar Mantar, which still is on my left. And this area generally, and Jantar Mantar specifically, I mean the surrounding areas of Jantar Mantar, they've always been uh, spaces where a lot of protests have traditionally happened. Of course, we see people enjoying the sun today. Okay, so here's what we've done. We could have chosen to keep walking on the Tolstoy Road, but we haven't done that because we wanted to choose the road less traveled by. uh, but yeah, I guess by chance that's what we've done. We've taken this road called the Jantar Mantar Road, which connects to the Tolstoy Road. Wow, that's pretty and also a little disturbing, I guess. But yeah, anyways, this is Jantar Mantar Road, and I took a right on Tolstoy Road to get onto this one. There was actually a very interesting eatery right in the beginning of this road, but I did not capture it. I thought maybe it doesn't go with the vibe. Because we are walking, we are not eating. I mean, not at this point. But yeah, I mean, you guys could eat there if you want, because it looked kind of nice. Of course, not as nice as these trees and these buildings, but it was nice enough. I like that building. I like how the red and white go with the green trees on this road, and I also like how the blue of the boards goes with the green. Kerala House. So Kerala is one of the southernmost states in India, and I'm sure this place, the Kerala House, has a lot of goodies and maybe even good food from Kerala. If we look at this green board, it tells us the way to India Gate. India Gate is actually not too far from here. So I guess I'll zoom out now, like in our heads, figuratively zooming out. We started from the outer circle of Connaught Place. We went on to the Sansad Marg, or the Parliament Street, and from there we ended up taking a left to get onto the Tolstoy Road, and from Tolstoy we kind of took a slight right to come to this beautiful road. Wow, look at that palm tree as well. So this beautiful road is called the Jantar Mantar Road because we just crossed by Jantar Mantar as well. Wow, the red and green go beautifully. So, That roundabout that you guys saw in slow motion is actually right on our Jantar Mantar Road. The road that we are crossing right now, though, that one is the Ashoka Road. So the roundabout takes care of three roads: Ashoka Road, Jantar Mantar Road, and Janpath Lane. And of course, we have a total of 6 roads converging and diverging respectively. This one, though, rock, paper, scissors, I think. So this one, though, is our road, the Jantar Mantar Road, and we keep walking. Remember, we started from Tolstoy Lane and we got onto Tolstoy Lane from which one? From, oh, I forgot. It was Sansad Marg, and now we are onto this very secluded and leafy part of the Jantar Mantar Road. Wow. I think you guys should just take that in. And the interesting thing about this one is that there are not a lot of buildings or building entrances here, so it's all just quiet and chill. Just the trees and you. So as we keep walking on this one, we'll actually reach a dead end on a road called the Raisina Road, which has quite the history. So you're still walking on Jantar Mantar Road, but barely, because we're almost done with the road. We're about to meet with the Raisina Road, which, as I said, has an interesting history. I'm sure just as these very pretty trees. So the Raisina Road is actually the road. Oops, that's the La Meridian Hotel. The Raisina Hill Road, it separates the president from the common men. So on the other side of the Raisina Hill Road, we've got the president's house. So we are walking on the Raisina Road now. Of course, we are walking in the common man direction, not the president house direction. And yeah, we'll try to get back to Connaught Place. Now, peeking at us from the right of the Raisina Road is La Meridian. It's one of the fancy hotels of the New Delhi area, and if we keep walking, we'll reach this circle called the Windsor Place. So now we've reached Windsor Place. This is another roundabout that connects 6 roads. The one that we are crossing is called Ashoka Road or Ashok Road. And then there's Janpath Road, which is the road that we'll be taking now to reach to Connaught Place. And there's the other road that we walked till now, which is the Raisina Road. That's our hotel. The Meridian. But yeah, as you saw on my left, we've got another famous hotel here called the Shangri-La. And the reason this roundabout is called Windsor Place because, of course, there has to be a reason. Windsor is so out of place in Delhi, right? So the reason it's called Windsor Place is because, again, this is in memory of the Duke of Windsor, just as Connaught Place is in the memory of Duke of Connaught. So we'll keep walking on this road now called the Janpath. Now, Janpath is a Hindi word that translates to Road of the People, but this Road of the People was originally called Queen's Way. How interesting, right? We have no idea why it will be called Queen's Way. And the Queen's Way runs perpendicular to another important road called the King's Way. Anyway, that's our hotel, Shangri-La. But yeah, these are all the British names. Okay, let me finally overtake him now as we keep walking north on Janpath towards Connaught Place. So what you'll see now is an amazing find, at least like an amazing personal find. So this is a mosque on the left side of Janpath as we are walking towards Connaught Place, and I'm sure this mosque is much older than Janpath the road itself, or even New Delhi the city. That's Janpath and our mosque. So the thing with Janpath is it runs exactly north and south, and it connects Connaught Place to India Gate. Connaught Place is in the north, and right now as we walk towards Connaught Place we'll notice something very interesting. So right now we are walking in the north direction, which means on our left is west, if you can figure that out from a little bit of geography. And on the west, what you see on that side is actually called the Western Court, which once again is a British building. It was built by the British to house lots of government offices, and as you can see, it's in between Connaught Place and India Gate on the north-south avenue, which was called the Queen's Way, but which is now called Janpath. And of course, if on your left is west and the Western Court, what could be on the other side? Of course, it's east, and on east we have the Eastern Court, which is once again one more set of government offices. So that's on our right. So those buildings are a little beyond the Eastern Court. That white thing is the Eastern Court. And of course we are walking on Janpath towards Connaught Place. So what I think we can do is take a left here on this road, and we'll explore some more leafy lanes before reaching to Connaught Place. Wow, I think just that tree makes this worth the left turn. Look at those aerial roots. So unusual, right, as compared to these trees. So now we are just casually walking on Janpath Lane, and we'll take a right from there. So I love how there's less of vehicular traffic here, and oops, more of the birds and wildlife. You see, that's the wildlife on top of a mosque. And these houses definitely look old, like 50-year-old quarters, 60, 70-year-old quarters, I guess, on the Janpath lane. And people doing their thing right by the road. This, of course, is a much bigger house. I'm not sure what that is, but it's definitely much bigger than the other ones on Janpath Lane. So now we've taken a right, and we are walking on the Tolstoy Road. Of course, we've seen the Tolstoy Road earlier, but we've not seen this beautiful gate before. The Tolstoy Road was also the road that we've taken the original left from, the Sansad Marg. So yeah, we've gone back to Tolstoy now, or we've come back to Tolstoy now, and now this will connect us to Janpath, or the Queen's Way. So on my left now you see the famous Janpath street market, which is between the Janpath Road and the Sansad Marg. So we already took the Sansad Marg to go away from Connaught Place. Now we are taking Janpath to go towards Connaught Place, and we are traveling north because Janpath is a true north-south road. We are done with Janpath now, and we've reached the outer circle of Connaught Place. So, we took that subway at the end of Janpath to finally reach where we'd started from. This is the end block of the outer circle, and I hope you enjoyed walking with me.